because like participant pays the coordinator from their funding. That's the main deal. And along the way, support coordinators has a bird's eye view over the funding, because of like support coordinator can only see how much money is in there and how much money is getting billed by the providers that are engaged. And if someone is overbilling or like getting complaints from any of the sites, like providers complaining sometimes that the client is not cooperating, client is complaining providers are overcharging, is not doing the right way that they were expecting. So any kind of those sort of conflict along the way after setting up the providers. So that's also support coordinator's job to like make sure that from the starting till the end, every service options are in place, and like they have been done properly, and both end are happy, provider plus the worker. And we do have to like sometimes take care of the providers as well, because of sometimes when I understand the client is not cooperating and the problem is from the client side, so like then I have to like go and intervene to make sure that the providers are getting a hold of the client, because like they would be billing for the cancellations and the money would be gone.
Yeah,
so
which
like
is such a waste, isn't it? When they're not,
yeah,
not using that funding.
yeah. So this is like pretty much of the main deal of support coordinators, to make sure that every service is in place and the client is in the right hand, and like comparing to the any other option there can be.
Yeah.
So
Is it kind of has like a safeguarding aspect for the participant, also to ensure that they're maybe not being ripped off, so not overcharged, or maybe also that the services that they're receiving support from are actually like qualified and trained to support them?
Right.
Yeah.
And there is another thing. Often people think about that support coordinator is the guardian. We are not the guardian, not at all. That's totally wrong, because we can't be signing anything in the on behalf of the client. Client has to like sign it if they don't have any guardian, either public or private, doesn't matter. But if the client has a guardian, then the guardian is the one that will be signing it. So we are basically, you can say, advisor. I think like advisor, not the guardian, not the like alternative person to do anything. We are there to advise the client, because like we think that like staying by themselves, because they will do something depending on their situation, either like and mostly like mental health cases does like get like level 3 funding. In my experience, I haven't got any participant whose disability is physical and have the level 3 funding. No, mental health.
So they're more complex, and then they need and then supporting them takes more sort of hours of your time and greater complexity.
Exactly.
So then it means it needs someone with more skills.
Right. You need to ensure a fusion of all the complex support needs that are available there. For example, housing, you have to make sure that they get the housing. You need to make sure that they attend the court. You need to make sure that they are not BSP is in place, and like they have a behavior plan in place, and like if they're restrictive practices, they have to follow it up. Like there can be like several kinds of problems, and you need to be like always be careful and like checking on them, like is everything right or wrong. So many intervention, and you don't normally need those things in the case of like level 2. You just like find out a provider, and time to time, regular basis, you do the intervention. Not much of a complaint, not much of a surprise. So level 3
they're more steady than level 2. Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks for explaining it. So you've always sort of being curious.
Nowadays, like a lot of therapies are done by telehealth, which was not the case like before COVID, because COVID taught us how to do things online. Now we are comfortable and we are doing it. But before that, it wasn't that much popular. We used to do face-to-face. But that's a good thing, I would say, because there are many people who are, and even I do coordination. There are a couple of people who lives like very far from Sydney, like in NSW, but deep in the country. So what happens, like on those areas, there is no registered providers. like when you talk about therapies or any sort of
Yeah.
like therapeutic intervention. So there are some local providers who are not that good, because
Mhm. And maybe not as specialized
I
in their,
specialized,
yeah, their needs. Yeah.
because like they in the country, like even you get paid more to do the intervention because of
Mhm.
country has a different rate. So
Yeah.
those clients are even paying you premium money to do the intervention. So they have every right to get the best out from the market, right? Because like I just
Mhm.
can't like engage a local provider just because of there is no other people there. And that doesn't sound fair, right? Because they are
Yeah.
the client with the similar difficulty in Sydney who we have, but just because of the location, and they're also paying more because of their live.
Mhm.
So like now this telehealth facility has given them opportunity to at least like have some sessions with the best like therapeutic support provider in the market. They're from
Mhm.
Sydney, and people are trying to get more into that thing because of like nowadays, like in Sydney, I don't know, you're from probably Melbourne. I don't know about
I'm from
Melbourne.
Melbourne, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, Sydney,
But I
like
did live in Sydney for 2 years.
uh,